Okay, so we're recording now. All right, so just to recap on that one. So the mean of the set, that's the same as the average. You add all the numbers in the set together, divide by the total number of elements in the set, and that gets you your mean or average. And going 5, 10, 15 to 5, 10, 1000, that's very, very greatly going to change the mean. The median is just the middle number of the set. In this case, it's not really going to change the fact that 10 is still the middle number. The standard deviation, as Vanessa said, it's sort of a measurement of how far apart the numbers are in the set. Replacing 15 with 1000 is going to make things very different. The standard deviation, I think we can see right here, it's 5, right? It's close to like 5, a value of 5 between them. It's going to change quite dramatically if you change 15 to 1000. Okay. So yeah.
So how do you do we need
find
to know
standard
how to
deviation?
calculate that? Or that sounds, I mean, for a small set of numbers, I just Googled it, but
I think the next one is where we find the standard deviations.
So there is a formula for finding the standard deviation, and I doubt they are going to expect anyone to remember that. It's a big, ugly square root function.
Gotcha.
So none of these, I seriously doubt they're going to ever ask you to actually crunch that kind of number on one of these exams. That's not what you have. You don't have time to do that. Now the next question is a question about standard deviation. Should we go to that one next?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Why not?
Wait, so what was the answer for the other one? The mean?
Yeah, it's the mean is going to change and the standard deviation is going to change. Right. So I'll put a little check. I'll change this to and so the answer is A and C. Okay. Let's go for the next one. Okay. There's a data set here. So there's several data sets. W is -9, -3, 3, 9. Data set X, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Data set Y, 100, 101, 102, 103. And data set Z, 7, 7, 7, 7. Okay. Which of the following choices lists the 4 data sets above in order from least standard deviation to greatest standard deviation? So the options are W, X, Y, Z, W, Y, X, Z, W, X, Z, Y, Z, Y, X, W, or E, Z, X, Y, W. Okay, so this is more of a logic question, really. Which order from greatest to, least to greatest standard deviation. All right.
I think is
And I'll make this in a different color so we know it's a different problem.
I think it's Z, Y, X, W. I think it's D.
Okay, Adeline's saying D.
I agree.
Okay. Any other?
Yes, it makes sense. That's the winner.
Certainly seems that way. Check the answers. Yeah, so the standard deviation is a measure of how spread out the numbers in a set are. In other words, how far are the individual data points from the average of all the data points. The GRE will not ask you to calculate standard deviation. In problems like this one, you will be able to eyeball which sets are more spread out and which are less spread out. Since dataset Z's members are identical, the standard deviation is 0. 0 is the smallest possible standard deviation for any set, so it must be the smallest here. You can eliminate answer choices A, B, C because of that. So everyone sees that it's like, because Z has to be the lowest, that you can just eliminate answers A, B, and C right off the bat. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, dataset Y's members have a spread of 1 between each number. X members are 2 away, and dataset W's members are 6 away from each other. So dataset Y has the next smallest standard deviation. So the correct answer is D, Z, Y, X, W. Okay. Excellent. How many of you guys have done probability and statistics? Well, how many of you guys have done statistics? Okay. How about probability? Okay.
I do not remember.
I'm not good
It was
at it.
part
That's
of-
the worst part of statistics for me.
Okay. Spoiler warning, there is a probability question on that practice test.
Thank you.
I couldn't do it.
Aw.
Oh, it's okay. We'll go over it eventually. Probability is something that I deal with a lot. Okay. Okay, so there's a few quantity questions here. Let's see. Should we keep going over standard deviation and distributions, or should we go on to a different section?
Do you see a harder one?
Let's see. Okay, and again, I haven't looked at any of these ahead of time, so we're doing it kind of live right now.
Do it live.
We're doing it live.
Do it. Do it.
Lee, I looked up the potato article, and thanks to you, I just can't stop thinking of the lady with the face.
I have to update
I have to look it up.
I have to update my
I put it in the
computer.
chat. I put the link in the chat.
Okay, break time. I'm gonna go see it.
Break time. It's potato time.
Okay, so let's see.
While Scotty's distracted.
There's a couple good questions, but they do require like writing a lot. Let's see.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, you can just show us your
Let's see. In a set of 10.
your thing. You don't have to write it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's a simple one, and by simple I don't mean easy. I just mean a little easier. So, okay. Okay. In a set of 10 million numbers, 1% would represent what percent of the total number of terms? So 1 million 100,000, 10,000, 100, or 1.
Is it 100,000?
So if you had 10 million,
Wait, what is, can you define terms? What does that mean? Is that what it's
Percent.
asking us to figure out?
1 percentile would represent what percent of the total number of terms?
1%.
I'm just checking it on Vanessa's answer.
Does it literally mean
I think it's
1%, the question?
100,000. I googled it.
1 percentile
Wait.
would represent what percent of the total number of terms?
100?
Well, what is a term? What is a term? What does term mean in this situation, as opposed to a number?
Term, it's an element within the set.
But aren't all the numbers elements within the set? So is this just asking us if we know that okay, I'm confused. Because I would think it would just be 10 of 10.
Okay, so this is a problem that is its difficulty is entirely in the wording.
Is the question correct? Because I don't understand.
Yes, the question is correct, but it's kind of a jerk question.
That's what they say on the internet. It says, got tricked, biatch.
What? Says what?
What are we, in Mean Girls or something?
That's what it says.
Biatch.
It says, it gives you the question, and then it says, I made the mistake of finding the number of terms, which is wrong. The trap answer is 100.
Yes, because you go 10 divided by 0.1.
Well,
100.
you put, the equation is,
That's how I did
the
it.
1 percentile is the 1%.
Wait,
So
with
it's,
percentile?
Uh,
It doesn't have that in the question.
yeah, because it's
1%.
right there, 1%.
Okay.
So you do
Hold on,
10
let me
divided by
make sure I wrote this down right.
0.1.
I did not.
Is there a
Let me see.
difference between
1
percent and percentile?
percentile. Sorry, it is 1 percentile.
Ooh,
I didn't write
okay.
it correctly. In a set of 10 million numbers,
Ooh,
1
so it didn't mean
percentile,
1%.
1 percentile would represent what percent of the total number of terms?
So then you grab the, the 100 over the 10 million
Mhm.
times 100 equals to the 1%. No? That's what
So-
it says over here.
So again, the wording on this is just meant to mess with you, and when I tell you the answer to this one, you're all just gonna look at me with a look of disgust and hatred. So the answer for this one,
Would it be just 1? Because it's saying like 1 percentile?
yeah, it's 1.
Like it's 1? It says it in the question?
Yeah, it's 1.
What an ass.
I'm gonna read the exact answer, as it's written here. The answer is E. A percentile always represents 1% of a set of data. If the question had asked how many terms 1 percentile represented, that would be a different question with a different answer.
So it's the way it's asked that we have to focus on.
Right. 1% of the terms, of the total number of terms, would be, as Vanessa pointed out, 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
So so 1 percentile equals 1%. So if I said, like if I had,
a percentile always
percentile.
represents 1% of a set of data.
So can you say 2 percentiles and that just equals 2%?
I think so. It's been over a decade since I took statistics, so I honestly don't remember the terms. But yes, the entire difficulty of this question just comes from the fact they're trying to use terminology in a clever way to make you all hate yourselves.
Working.
And the authors of these questions. Okay. I think what I'll do is I'll save more of this section for another time, because there is lots of word questions and lots of well, let's see, is there anything I can do here? Yeah, we can totally do a little bit more of this another time, when we can scan a page and put the whole page up, and then we can read it off like that. But I don't know, would you guys like to keep going? I can, certainly try and make it work. Okay. Okay. Average space of medians, standard deviations. The next section, let's see, is probability, combinatorics, and overlapping sets. Would you guys like to do some probabilities?
Sure.
Yeah. One more.
One more.
One more of the statistics?
That's like one more for the whole session.
My brain.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just finish it off with one more statistics question then, and then next time we'll do probabilities.
Okay.
All right. Let's follow up on that percentile thing. All right. On a particular test, whose scores are distributed normally, the second percentile is 1,720, while the 84th percentile is 1,990. What score, rounded to the nearest 10, most closely corresponds to the 16th percentile?
So we have again a percentile.
Yep. So excuse me, 810 and the 1,830. Okay. All right. Well, I don't even know where to start with this one. Let's see.
I think I would make like a table.
The table.
It took me back to statistics right now, just saying all those numbers. Like, let me see if I can get this right. So maybe do like a row with the percentiles and the amounts.
Let me.
I found the answer on the internet.
You found the answer on the
Cheater!
internet.
Cheater.
I
You're like
don't
giving
think
them
that's
up.
allowed.
Not even
I
trying.
know. She's not
What's
even trying.
this?
I didn't
Te-
mean to.
Teacher, she's cheating.
Yeah.
It was right there.
Take away her computer.
Yes.
I'm putting it down. I'm not reading the answer.
Hmm.
Yeah, you already say you know it.
But I have no idea how it started.
I don't know. I kind of want to do like the distribution graph.
Well, it's telling you that the distributions are normal, so you don't know that. You know they're not inclined to either way.
I'll turn off my mic so you can talk for a bit while I sort of read this one through.
Let me see. 2.
You're using your calculator?
I'm using a calculator.
Hey, we can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
At the
Calculator.
We can't use a computer.
Nope.
It was next to the other answer.
Mhm.
I just wondered, I wonder if these answers are the book's answers. And it seems like they are.
They really are?
Yeah, it seems like somebody had the time to go over the questions in the book and type them up.
Wow, that's skills right there.
I know.
Must be nice to have that time.
I know. I don't have a calculator. I'll pull up one from the browser. You cheated. There's a video that we watched with Scotty about something about things your Mexican girlfriend does. And there's one scene where the girl goes over and she's like, "Who's this girl on your phone? Who's this girl on your phone?" He's like, "Who? It's my sister." "You sister, your sister. Let me see your sister."
It's your sister.
It is your sister.
That's true.
The good thing is I already know his sister.
Yeah, so you
Hi guys, sorry. I
missed
ran
all
away.
the fun. You missed
Yeah.
all the
You
fun.
missed
did.
Adela cheating.
Yeah, she was being a
She
cheater.
cheated.
Yeah,
Yep.
she was being a
She's
cheater.
disqualified from the
Oh my
GRE.
god. No, my brother called me. He texted me earlier today and was like, "Do you need anything from Target?" I was like, hand soap if they have it. So he just showed up without any advance. He's like, "Come downstairs to get your soap." I'm like, ugh. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. Have a brother like that.
That's nice. I know.
That is.
Lee has a
freaking
really nice relationship with his brother.
I envy
Yeah,
you.
it's good right now because we're distant, you know.
We're just talking.
Too much time, you know.
Yeah. That's sweet,
Okay, so Adelaide, you cheated. What is this?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I just
What's
happened. You know the answer that I found earlier? Well, the next answer for this question was there.
What
I just-
score rounded to the nearest 10 most closely approximate the 16th percentile? Ah, okay.
What do you subtract?
What
I
score
don't
rounded
even
to
know.
most
Let's
closely
see.
correspond to the 16th percentile?
I could have easily explained how, the answer is solved and given the
Did
answer.
you guys solve it yet, or?
No.
No.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
trying to comprehend it first.
It's a rough question.
Mhm.
On a particular test scores are distributed normally. The second percentile is, so I'm going to put second.
Wait, so can I ask a clarification? When you have a percentile, does that mean the second percentile is 1720? Does that mean that's all? That's not the same thing as 2% in this instance. Like, oh, I guess it could be. I'm like thinking of that test score can't be 1720, but I guess
know.
it could.
It's taking us back. Oh.
Wait, the second
Can I
percentile is
draw?
1720 and the eighth force.
You want to help me with this one?
What score rounded to the nearest 10?
Read it.
But how can the 84th percentile be higher? Or is this like a test like scored like golf? And the lower
Well,
score is better?
It's a
asking,
normal distribution.
it's asking you to find
So it says
that distribution.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Normal. Made crappy.
Yeah, it's telling you it's distributed normally. So it's like that little curve, it's right in the middle. It's not towards one side and it's not towards the other. So it's telling you that the second percentile, it's 1,720. Well, the one on the very end, towards the very end, it's 1,990. What score rounded to the nearest tenth, which in this case, that's why you have 50, 70, 90, 10, 30, because it's near it, it's rounded. It's most closely corresponds to the 16th percentile.
Oh.
So that graph that Scotty is kind of drawing for you,
Mhm.
that's what it's talking about.
So wouldn't if it's equal, if it's an evenly distributed or normally distributed, wouldn't the 84th percentile be equivalent to the 16th percentile? Because they're both.
They are they're the mirror image of each other, but they wouldn't be equivalent because then it goes low scores to high scores.
Right.
So the 16th percentile would be the lower scores, but it's like evenly mirrored with the 84.
Okay, so sorry, these numbers 1720 and 1990, that's how many people scored. That's how many people scored that on the certain grade on the test. That's not the score.
That's not the score of the test. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was confused.
Got it. That makes more sense.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't even know how to begin. It's been so long. I'm too old. I should have just taken the GREs a decade ago. I don't think you can keep your scores that long now.
I don't think so. I think you only have so long before you have to retake them again.
He's always changing, getting more.
Don't worry, Lee. You're super smart. You'll be able to do this. You just need the refresher.
No.
Sure.
Well, thanks for the refresher. Okay, I'm just gonna wait till one of you figures it out or cheats.
According to Suresh, according to Suresh, you're the star student. Okay, so
What, he said that to you?
Yes.
No way.
Aww.
That is sweet. That's true love right there.
Yeah, he loves you.
Aww.
Oh, well, I should probably go to his office hours.
Yeah, he thinks he thinks you're definitely one of the top students.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, yeah, he posted because I mean, in terms of like grad school, I'm not competing against most people. It's really like the guys are competing against each other almost, because we have like, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like they have a quota of guys they want to get in.
Yeah.
So it's really only the other. Huh?
You have an advantage already.
I mean, a little bit, yeah, because they need more men in the field. But anyway, he posted the video, even though in our class, he was recording too. But did you guys see in our Canvas, he posted the video from the other class?
Yes, when I saw that,
Yeah.
I was confused. I was like, "Who's that guy that keeps coming up?" I don't remember him being in our
So
class.
yeah, and Andy's in that class. So I texted her. I was like, "Okay, who's this other dude that's like answering all the questions?" She's like, "Don't worry." I was like, "Who's my competition?" She's like, "Don't worry, he's going for the audiology doctorate." So.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No worry about it.
I gotta know who all the other guys are, so I know who I'm competing against.
All right, sounds good.
Would you mind calling back a little bit, please? I'm on a meeting call.
Okay, so let's see.
Okay.
I just checked the one.
So yeah, I'm totally like don't even really know where to start on this one. So if you guys know.
Well, do you want me to send you the links, Lee?
Oh, because you Googled the answer?
I didn't Google the answer. Okay, how many times do you have to say? The question was right
I
there.
have a question. Let me see. How do you draw on this?
You would have to ask for his request to on the view options at the top of the screen. Request to
Oh, it
There
should
it
be,
is.
yeah, it's set to auto.
So yeah, those are the lines that.
So I have a question. If I were to do this lines, and I'm trying to figure out this one, right? This is the 16th. Would it then mean that I'm like one standard deviation away from the mean? Yeah?
Go, girl.
Okay.
Where
Okay.
you place the 6?
The 16. Well, my crappy 16. So this is what we're looking for right here, right?
Yes.
And this is our 84 over here. Don't look at my crappy numbers, but
That's fine.
84, right? Yeah, 84.
Yeah.
And this is our 2, which means that this is 98. It's hard to do with this. How do you do it, Scotty? This is terrible.
He has a pen.
Oh, no wonder.
Got the fancy pen.
And a very steady hand.
Okay.
Yeah, I had when I was trying to share my screen the other day, I had to put my
But
phone
now how
on
do
a
I
box
figure out?
and zoom in on the paper. I really need an iPad.
That's how far I got in my logic.
Well,
I'm trying to look for
Honestly.
one deviation away from the mean. Anybody else?
Wouldn't we just then
So
put
can you explain what you mean by that? What one deviation away? Like,
You know how deviation is how far away you are from the mean? So if I'm looking at
I
this
don't
one,
remember.
oh, well, deviation means like how far away you are from the mean. So if I'm looking
Okay.
for this one, I'm one deviation away. But then I don't know what
do
to
you
do with that.
What's one deviation equals?
You see the line right there, Lee?
No, I understand. Like,
Yeah,
it's how far away
you're
you
saying
are
like
from the mean.
how
But
much is it?
one deviation equals. How do you
Yeah.
know what one deviation is?
I don't.
Or is that what you have to figure out to get this right?
I don't know if we would have to figure out the deviation.
Yeah.
I just know we're one deviation away from the mean. That's why I'm saying like that's all I know.
Okay. So,
That's all I know from that logic.
Alid, mind if I talk for a moment?
Oh, no.
Okay. Vanessa is right here in that the key to solving this problem is to realizing that the distances, what exactly those 16 and 84% mean, and those 2% mean. So what's going on here, and this is something that if you didn't take statistics, you'd never know. And if you took statistics, a dozen years ago, like me, you'd have forgotten. But the way this works is the 84 is one standard deviation away from the mean. And excuse me, the 84th percentile is a standard deviation away from the mean. So if this line in the middle here, the pink line in the middle is your 50%, 84% is one standard deviation above that, and 16 is one standard deviation below that. And 2, I'm going to draw in, let's say, so.
Can I just ask, how do you know that it's one deviation to those specific percentiles?
Because it's a normal distribution, and those are properties of a normal distribution.
Is that 84 and 16 are like the key numbers? Got it.
Yeah, so 2%, 16%, 50%, 84%, and like 98%.
Yeah, 98.
So in other words, yeah. What this is, if I had drawn my graph a little better, the distance between these is equal. So a standard deviation, I think it's, is it lowercase sigma, like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Each one of these gaps is equal. Or each one of these distances is equal. and it's not exactly 16%, it's like 15.9 or something like that. But for the purposes of this exam, for the purpose of something like this, 16% is, and 2%, that's certainly close enough. I was trying to find like a standard deviation calculator sort of thing online that we can, use to play with. But anyways, this is a just sort of the properties of a normal distribution. So knowing that, here's how they go about solving this. So what they say is the mean minus 2 standard deviations is going to be equal to what?
That's going to give you your middle, like your mean.
That's going to give you, it's one of our special numbers that we're given to solve the problem with.
84? No, I'm sorry, it's going to give you 1720.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And another thing they give you with this is, what's another thing that we know?
Oh, you can add mean plus 2 standard deviations, and that's going to give you the 1990? Or no?
Not plus 2 standard deviations.
Just one?
That's one. So one standard deviation above the mean is the 84th percentile, you're saying?
Yeah.
Mm.
So then we know that the difference between those two.
Can we take like the 1990 minus the 1720, and then we get the answer and divide that by 3 to figure out what the standard deviation is between each one?
Yep. At this point, it's a
Yep.
It's a series of equations, or at this point, it's now a series of equations that you have, and it's just solve for S, or solve,
So our answer would be D.
Let's see.
Because now you know how to get to where the 16 is.
Right. So do you want to write out what you did?
Yeah.
I'll try not to touch the mouse.
My crappy writing. So I took the 190 minus the 720, and then I got 270, and then I took that 270 and divided it by 3, like the 3 spaces, which equals 90. So now I know that our deviation is 90, and I just took the that one plus the 90. Wait, I put equals. Plus 90, and then I got 1,810 is equal to the 16th percentile.
Okay. Let's see. Did any of that? Were you writing that into the?
Did you see it?
Not yet.
No.
No, I wrote it onto the whiteboard.
Okay.
I typed it.
Okay, click off of the. There we go.
Oh,
now
yeah, there it is.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
So each of these little divisions from 2 to 16 is 90. From 16 to 50 is 90. Okay.
Well, that's great because I had no idea how to solve this problem when I looked at it. But yeah, the key here is the wording that it's a normal distribution, and knowing that normal distribution has is special in this bell graph way. Yeah, that's a hard one. I seriously doubt that many people would be able to get that. I think that's harder than anything you'll ever see on the GRE.
Probabilities are harder.
Okay. Well, if you guys feel like it, we can certainly do some probabilities, but if you want, we can save that for next time. Or how are you guys feeling now? It's been about an hour.
About an hour, yeah.
It might be dinner time.
Okay. All right. I will go ahead and save this.
Well, thank you again. Are we meeting
Oh,
Friday?
yes, I wanted to ask you guys, when do you guys want to meet?
I can only do it if we do it Friday in the morning.
I could do in the morning. My training got canceled.
Okay.
What about you, Lee?
Yeah, the morning is fine.
So
What
what,
time
10:15, 10:30?
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I have to go. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
You
Alright.
sure?
Yeah, I have to like go to ceramics and like there's like a chat room, but literally I can go in and say hello and then log off.
Okay.
I don't even know why she's doing that, but she might not even have to do that anymore. But that's how she was like taking attendance.
Oh my gosh.
For,
Okay.
For a bit. You can actually have like a chat function in Canvas that nobody else is using.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I've never seen the chat option on Canvas. Okay. I'll set
It
up a
looks just
meeting.
like, yeah. Okay.
I'll set up a meeting then.
Well, before you guys sign off, so should we cover the practice test?
On Friday?
Right. Do you think you guys will have enough time to go through the practice test that we sent out by Friday?
Yeah.
I did it already.
I guess
so, yeah.
I can do it.
Excellent, Vanessa. Vanessa and I are the only ones who did it so far, I think.
We had tests in every class, you know.
I know you guys have had a lot of exams
Yeah.
recently.
Mine are
that was a
coming
rough
up.
couple
So.
days.
Professors really like to schedule exams for like right after spring break because they're like they want you to be. They're like, oh, you have a full week. You can of not going to class. You can spend that whole week studying.
No, we didn't
who wouldn't do
originally
that,
have that.
right?
It was just coincidence because they all got pushed back after spring break when we couldn't have them. You know, so I mean, we were gonna have I think one, but then we had like 3 other ones. I think we were gonna have the quiz that audiology was gonna happen anyway.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Sproul could not figure out when he wanted to do it. He doesn't understand how calendars work.
Us to have it together. That's how it's been.
All right, well, my eye needs to break anyway, so.
I'm saying that they don't, like, the professors don't really have it together, but they expect us to have it together.
No, I'd say all of them have it together except Dr. Sproul. Yeah, the rest of them have been pretty communicative. I mean, and yes, they're like still kind of figuring it out. Like Dr. Horner has actually just changed our whole format. We're not going to have any more tests. Like we're going to have only quizzes now.
Nice.
But at least she's communicating and has decided that and told us that today. It's like,
Heads up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys have have a nice day tomorrow, and I'll see you Friday.
Yeah. Next weekend. What's a
We'll
weekend?
see you in audiology. Adelaide, did you have a question for audiology while we're on a Zoom call? You had a question for me, or or is it more of a longer thing, or did you have?
I would say it's more of a longer thing.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, just let me know.
He's like after dinner.